Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to your weekly Nintendo Class vs. Crass. I'm your host, Jason Lapine, and joining me, my co-host, Sean Crassy Long. Sorry.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Sean. You in a good mood tonight?
Not really.
Good. You got your ice cream sandwich?
What?
So sorry, guys, that I'm late tonight. Work ran late, but we're here 30 minutes late. I got my donuts. I got my coffee. I'm Canadian tonight. Very, very Canadian branded.
Go on.
What do you got?
Diet Dr. Pepper and cigarettes.
The typical long combo.
That's all I need, baby.
All right. So if you are just joining us for the first time on this podcast, we do this all the time. It's Class vs. Crass. We have it in sections. We usually go over what have you been playing. That's where Sean and I discuss what we've been playing over the past week. And then we go into the main Nintendo headlines, which were a little bit skimpy over the past week. But don't worry, we'll still deliver on some good content. And then we have the Nintendo Fans Showcase. I might just showcase Sean. And then we go into the lightning round where we take questions, topics from you guys, and we talk about anything Nintendo you like or hear your opinions and have some fun like that. So feel free to join us in the chat, ask some questions. We do interact. It's a lot easier to interact with you guys when we don't have a guest because it's just the two of us, and I already know all of Sean's bogus opinions anyways.
Shut
Right?
up.
Awesome.
Peace.
So, what have you been playing?
This game, Mario and Sonic at the Rio Olympics on the 3DS.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Go to hell.
This is your first one, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never played one of these before, and I kind of see why. I don't know if all of these are like this, but if they are, yeah, no.
What's so bad about them?
I mean, I can't. They've actually upped. The reviews now can go live Thursday. I got an email about that. It's just, it's just boring. Like I've never played a game that had so much potential and it doesn't live up to any of it. Like I literally am just like trudging through things, and there's some design choices that literally make me want to like throw something against a wall, and I don't understand, why they I believe Sega actually developed it, and Nintendo published it, but I mean it feels like, if it makes any sense, it feels kind of like a Nintendo published or a Nintendo developed game.
Mm-hmm.
If you kind of catch my drift. Yes. Oh, I didn't share it on the main Facebook. Sorry.
Come on, get this out to the viewers. Sean didn't do his Class vs. Crass marketing.
Well, they should be subscribed. I mean, there's over 18,000 of them.
Well, it takes time to hit the inbox when you go through the YouTube route.
But it should be first others.
And we're a half hour late, so we threw a wrench in the plans, and
Yep.
there's a whole daylight savings time. Do you guys move your clocks too? Over down south?
Oh yeah, everyone. The only state that doesn't is Arizona,
Why don't they do it?
because they're awesome.
Hmm.
I hate daylight savings. I think it's stupid as hell.
Well, it sucks.
But yeah, so I mean, it's a lot of lost potential, I feel, and yeah, I'm just not having fun.
I thought this series would have been good given that they just keep putting them out. Like every 2 years, there's a Mario and Sonic at the something games.
You would think so, but I mean, there's some design choices that I literally sat there and looked at the thing, and I was like, why? Why would you do this? Like, give me one logical reason why this is a good idea besides laziness. It feels very rushed, and it feels very lazy.
Hmm.
and my review will reflect it, and I don't care.
I'm really interested now to see what the sales numbers were for the past Mario and Sonic games.
I mean, it's such a simple premise, like, and it should be so easily executed. Like, I could literally sit here and fix the flaws of the game, and granted, I'm not a game designer, but I can't imagine that my solutions would be, you know, that hard. Maybe one of them would be a little intricate, but other than that, I mean, these are basic ass design decisions, and there's none of them. There's none of them. It blows my mind.
So was that all you've been playing?
Pretty much, because I've been trying to see maybe I'm missing something. Because I'll go ahead and say it. I don't care because there's hardly anyone in here anyways.
Hey, wait, it gets posted. It's not just live.
It's just a preview.
Okay.
Whatever.
Hang on. I got the numbers here of the Mario and Sonic. They actually sell 4 million, 3.75 million, 3.5 million, then 1 million. Okay, whoa, these things are just selling like worse and worse, like significantly worse and worse year over year.
This one should bob. This one deserves a bob, and I hope I could assist in that with my review because it's not good. I can't imagine. I can't imagine 10-year-old me enjoying the game any more than 30-year-old me. Because like even a kid would be able to see like the weird design choices. So,
all right, what's your preview? What were you teasing?
Okay. So you can jump in straight to one of the events. So let's take soccer for instance. Okay, you pick soccer, and then you go to choose your person, and then it does the most. It makes the Chibi Robo wheel.
Oh no!
You know, it makes that look like God in comparison.
Oh, that's terrible.
It's that bad.
Wow.
I was like, my game must be broken. I must be missing something. But no, I'm not missing anything. It's just stupid. And then there's like a single player, like a campaign sort of thing, which is kind of interesting. I mean, but it's just super. You can get like costumes and stuff to use that give you new abilities and stuff, and they're based on characters. So I mean, that's kind of cool. But I don't know, man. It's too easy and it's too boring. And there's only like out of all the events, there's only like I'd say 2 that I was like, okay, this is kind of fun.
Right. Man, that sucks.
I mean, that's really pretty much all I've been playing.
Man, well, I wasn't picking it up. That series never appealed to me. It's sports, and
but I mean, you have a game like Mario Strikers, Mario Sluggers, Mario 3-on-3 Hoops.
Right.
Those games were fun as shit. And then I play this, and I'm like, what? Did we not learn anything from these fun games that sold pretty decent? Like, well, what's going on?
Nah, it's probably just cash grab with the IPs and the fact that there's an Olympic and like, hey, we've done this for the past, 6, 8 years. Time to do it again.
You know what I just noticed?
What?
This isn't in my subscription feed.
Oh, has YouTube messed up? Because, yeah, the viewership is very, very low tonight. I don't know.
Like it says we're live now.
Yeah, well, of course we are. People are talking to us.
But yeah, there's it didn't hit my sub feed.
Yeah, it's usually late. Oh, that's probably what happens. Because we schedule it so late, it probably didn't have the time to send it out.
But it still should pop up now that we're live.
It takes 20 minutes about. If it doesn't pop up in the next 5 minutes, it's a problem.
Well, it is what it is. Fuck it.
It is. All right, I've been playing some more fun stuff. I don't know if I showed this off last week. Woo! I caved in. And I finally opened it. It's beautiful. It's a nice amiibo. Yeah, so played a little bit more Zelda Twilight Princess. Past the first temple, so it's speeding up. I was complaining a lot about the design mechanics last week, and wasn't enjoying. It is a slow ramp up, but obviously the game picks up. It's fun. I completely forgot that you're chasing a monkey slapping his ass and that you have to yeah, you have to basically slap the monkey's ass in the first temple. I completely forgot that was in Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
So, oh, that's good. I also played Poken Tournament. Been playing a lot of that. That's really fun. When's that embargo up? That's coming out this week.
Yeah.
And that is an amazing game. Very well done. Very well executed. We talked about that too last week with OJ. Um, Looking over at my collection, I don't think I've been playing much else. Not much time on the 3DS. So yeah, for the last 2 weeks I've been playing the same stuff, Zelda and Pokken, which is going to be a good treat.
Yeah, I've got an indie that I'm supposed to be playing, but I've been reviewing. I keep forgetting to download it though. I might do it after the show.
Which one's that?
The VHS is dead or whatever I think it's called.
Oh, I remember previewing that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it just came out not this past week, but the week before. I haven't seen many reviews on it, but I'll probably try to jump into that tonight and see what it's about. It looks kind of interesting. Looks like something I would probably enjoy.
Yeah. I do want to mention, so we got Peter here saying looking forward to Pokken, which you should be. You're going to be very well surprised. But the more you play, actually, I think last week I said that there was no story mode that I was disappointed in, but they've actually merged the story mode in a very interesting way in the game. So you know how in typical fighters it's like you pick arcade mode or story mode and then you get like cutscenes and then a reason why you're doing the fight and then you fight and you just do that till you get the boss.
Yeah.
So the way that the game is set up in Pokken Tournament right off the bat, they throw you into a league and you're told that hey, you've got to go all the way up the league to be the number one trainer, the best, right? So you basically
Right.
start in like rank D, and then you go through the league. And then when you get in the top eight, you you have to win the top eight tournament, and then if you win that, you unlock the ability to take on the league, the promotion exam where you take on a guy or a girl, and if you beat him, you get to go to the next league. So that that's cool. It feels dry, but just as it starts to feel too dry, bam, they throw in a plot twist that like something's happening, like something is disrupting the league, and like they just drop it a little. They're like, oh, something's happening, but we're gonna keep doing our league. And the more you fight through the leagues, like the more this. I don't want to really spoil anything. The more this story element getting starts disrupting the league, and then eventually you go off in a story arc, which I'm not there yet.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's a very interesting way how to toss in a story element to Pokken. I'm happy they did that.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I'm still wanting to snag that.
You gonna be buying it?
Probably. Probably.
Mm.
If I can get my
I don't
Jaguar fixed.
I don't know if the online was pretty bad as it, but I don't know if this is just because the servers are locked under like review embargo or whatever. I was trying to do an online match with another reviewer, and it was just they give you a 10-second window. You can enter like a code, so that you can actually sync up in the same room. But then you have 10-second countdown, and if it doesn't like connect in that 10-second, you face off against a CPU. And
That's stupid.
it's very stupid. So I don't know if that's going to change to like a 2-minute interval when the servers are like legit live and everything. But as is, they're shitty. All right. So, do you want to get into some headlines?
Yeah, that's cool.
It was a pretty light week, last week.
Hey,
What?
you said it was a pretty light week, eh?
Eh?
And I said, hey.
Well, I got Tim Hortons all around me. I'm chomping on some donuts and some coffee. Um, my most interesting story, I mean, on Nintendo 90, we did see some really good games coming from the indie scene, but one piece of news that really surprised me was Two Tribes and how they announced that they were retiring after Rive, which I don't know if it's a marketing tactic because Rive is gearing up to be an amazing game by the looks of it. And from the demo, I think you played the demo too, right?
Yes.
Fantastic game. Tight mechanics, fast like action. It's fun. It's just pure fun. And basically, for anyone who doesn't know, Two Tribes announced that they were retiring after Rive, which comes out in September. saying they can't keep up with the times, that the indie scene has changed so much since they started 15 years ago that they feel they can't compete anymore as an indie studio, which is a very sad thing to hear. Two Tribes is if you read their press release about this, uh, they're used to developing their own engines from scratch, but the over time there are more and more tools available so that you can get into game development a lot easier now, like through tools like Unity. What's that engine? Is it the Unreal 4 engine? I think that's easily accessible.
Yes.
So those two
And
engines,
the game creator, and I mean,
there's
there's so many engines out there now.
yeah, there's a bunch of engines that basically, if you're an artist or a programmer, you can kind of jump in, learn the ropes, and develop a game a lot faster. And I don't know, for some reason, Two Tribes either they don't want to adapt to that or they feel that it's not what they signed up for 15 years ago. So they're pretty much saying that they're retiring, and I'm surprised by that, and I find that a little shameful. Not shameful, sad that you put all this energy and all this promise into a game. Like, do you think that if Rive is a big hit, that they're going to stay around, or do you think that they're just going to leave? And do you think that's smart of them or just
Well,
dumb?
first and foremost, the video game industry changes a lot, from everything from how you get news and information, such as print publications, to how you develop games, to game consoles, et cetera, et cetera. So, on one hand, I am, it does kind of suck that they're going out allegedly from this. But on the other hand, I don't understand why they just don't adapt. I mean,
It seems easy, right?
it's yeah, like you have a name, you have a brand, you're creating a game that more than likely is going to be pretty successful as far as an indie game goes. It's a multi-platform release. If you're making multi-platform games, you would think that you would want to use an engine or something that's easily accessible across all platforms. I don't understand the reasoning. I can understand if you're like, hey, we've been around for, what is it, 15 years or something.
Yep.
We're burned out, take a break. I can understand, hey, we've had a great run, but we want to pursue other options. I don't understand blaming the changing of the industry as a reason because you like. I'm from the philosophy of, don't work hard, work smart.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can find something that works for you and you don't have to break your ass and you get the same results, if not better results, why wouldn't you do that? So, I mean, it is sad. Probably there's something more going on behind the scenes. And if not, I mean, it's their decision. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I do wish them the best of luck. They've made some really good games, and
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's about it. I mean, I do remember with, what is it, Toki Tori?
Yeah.
There was like a whole big thing that it didn't sell well, and they were looking at leaving the market, and then Rive came along, and all that chatter kind of went away. But I don't know. It just seems like a strange decision to
Well,
not want to adapt. I mean, it's kind of stubborn.
It is, but Tokitori was actually pretty had a huge impact. I believe it brought the company to bankruptcy. I think they had to file bankruptcy because of Tokitori. Let me just make sure I'm
So,
not talking out of my ass here.
I mean, even so, like what like that would be a sign that I don't know. I don't buy into the whole you have to adapt thing, because if that's the case, then why do games like Shovel Knight, and why do games like shitty games, Five Nights at Freddy, Undertale,
Hmm.
like it's just you have to strike a chord with the audience, and not everything you do is going to be a home run, and not every review you do is going to get a million views. Not every video you make is going to be a home run, and you might put a lot of effort and time into it, like a top 5 Mario jobs, and think you did a damn good job on it, but damn if that son of a bitch didn't bomb. I mean, it just comes with the territory. You can't win them all.
Yeah,
No one has ever won everything. So I don't know. It seems a bit silly,
yeah.
but yeah, that's what it is.
I can confirm. I just looked up, according to Wikipedia, anyways. In January 2014, Two Tribes did file for bankruptcy due to disappointing sales of Tokitori 2. But I mean, if you look at their game history, they developed a lot of games which, at first glance, are not very impressive. A lot of puzzle games. Um, I mean, Swords and Soldiers was a fantastic game, which is
All
one
right,
I don't know.
we just popped into the subscription feed, so maybe we'll be
Actually see the usual audience. But I mean, yeah, like Rive was kind of their big bang. They said after the bankruptcy, they kind of took 15 years worth of knowledge and then just decided to like just make a game that they love, that they wanted to, and it's really looking promising. So I hope that this kind of does like what the original Final Fantasy did to SquareSoft, which was they were doing bad, they were selling bad games, or their games weren't doing good. I don't know, their games were bad, basically said, let's make a final game, which is Final Fantasy, bam, blockbuster, and history, we all know what happens after that.
yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if they stick to their guns, and if they do, you had a good run, you made a bunch of games, and I mean, you outlasted a hell of a lot of companies, so
Mm-hmm.
nothing to shame or hang your head in shame or anything, but I don't know, just kind of a weird wording in my opinion.
Yep. All right. So that was my interesting topic of the week. What do you do? What stuck out for you from
I
last week?
guess I guess the whole Zelda thing, where they're kind of saying,
That there's going to be an online market for people to trade their wares.
no, you ass. That it's going to be sort of a departure, in terms of, I believe the comparison was made from Link to the Past to Ocarina of Time, kind of how similar, but obviously a drastic change. And I don't know. That was kind of interesting because a lot of people freaked out, and I'm just sitting there like, okay, well, let's be honest. Since Ocarina of Time, we have been playing the same exact style of game. Not that that's bad, but can you really, aside from graphical differences and small gameplay tweaks, tell the difference between Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask, and Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword?
Okay, but why are we so bent up on the console version having to? Why does it need to evolve so much? Like, if you look, you could argue that the NES Zelda didn't evolve much with A Link to the Past and all the Game Boy versions.
We'll
All the
skip
hand.
Zelda 2, even though that was completely different.
I
But
don't
yeah,
acknowledge
okay,
its existence. Yeah.
okay, whatever. How are you gonna say that though? Because you can't compare that because
Why not? Why not? One is
that's
one is a
technical.
top down
That's technical.
top down view versus 3D view. They're going to be the same. In the 2D, in the top down view, we've seen a lot of innovation in how you can play. Minish Cap was pretty cool. Like some
Fish
that are
Cap
coming
was a
to
Capcom game, so that doesn't count.
Minish Cap
Yes,
was Capcom.
yes,
Really?
yes.
Wow. I did
Yeah,
not
Minish
know
Cap was a
that.
Capcom game, so they don't count.
What's the story
What is it?
behind? Wait, how did Capcom get their hands on the?
I don't remember. That was more of when I was just strictly a fan and didn't care about about whatever anything else.
Oh, it looks
Um,
like it's only in the North America that the hour changed. Damn it. That might be
oh,
it. So yeah, the time change, us being late, the YouTube being late on the sub box, everything's going against us tonight.
that's we shall overcome.
We will. All right, guys, don't worry. For the past 30 minutes, Sean has just been talking about nothing. So you didn't miss anything. We're going to restart right now. Cool?
Yeah, that's fine. Sorry, I was talking to someone. I didn't even listen to you.
I was trying to insult you, but it came out weak.
Yeah, that's how it usually happens.
Oh, no.
Um, but yeah, okay, handheld Zelda games. I mean, even if okay, I don't compare handheld Zelda games to console Zelda games. So if you look at console, you've been essentially playing a version of Ocarina of Time since '98. If you look at handheld games, you've been playing essentially a version of Link's Awakening since '89. Like, I'm all for it. Like, I don't understand why people are all hell bent. It's not like Triforce Heroes. It's not like it's a spin-off or something. it's new. It is a new console game. They have not fucked up a console Zelda game ever.
Skyward Sword is getting a lot of hate.
I don't like Skyward. I never finished it. That's the only console Zelda game I never finished.
It has
just
an
got bored
epic.
with it.
It has an epic ending.
I don't know. I just got bored with it. I don't remember where exactly I was. Maybe I'll revisit it one day. But I just got bored with it. I got bored with the Wiimote controls. I didn't like Grouse. I thought he was obnoxious.
Was he the rival Goose or
Yeah,
Goose? I hated him.
and I don't know. I never got really invested in that game. Whereas every other every other console Zelda game has invested me. Like to the point I'm like, okay, this is great. I love this. So I don't know, but people are freaking out, and I'm like, dude, come on. I really think they're going to go with a Fallout route. To be perfectly honest with you, like a big ass open world and a story where you sort of make it instead of just go to town, something happens in town, go to dungeon, go back to town, town is saved, proceed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? More open. Like Zelda games are very open in nature as far as exploration, but they're not open in terms of story. And I think that that's going to be the adjustment. They're going to make it open in the world of story. Because, I mean, even if you look at that thing that they did at the Game Awards, like one of the big emphasis, well, one of the big emphasis is emphasis is that what you say?
Emphasis, we'll say I would say.
Was you see there, you can go there. Like even though it was a bit too open, I think a Xenoblade-esque kind of style would be good.
Yeah. Did you pick up Xenoblade since the holidays?
No.
So vast doesn't make a game good, I think.
That's not necessarily true, though. I'm not. If I had nothing else to do, if I didn't have to, do stuff like this, like maybe I would probably get back into it. It's just a matter of time. Like I can't.
But that's the thing. I don't want Zelda to become this massive thing that's so big we can't even play it because we have to adult.
I like to make time for it, though. I could make time for Xenoblade if I wanted to. But
it's not good enough.
No, I think it is good enough. It's a console RPG, and I haven't finished a console RPG in a while, unless it's an indie one.
Right.
Because those are smaller.
Yeah. What was the thing? Oh yeah, so you were saying that Zelda's gonna be like the new like they're gonna be like Fallout 4.
I just think in terms of exploration.
I hope so. I really hope so. I'm hoping that Nintendo will observe the surge in open world games that we've seen over the last several years, and will take the best elements of all that on Zelda and build it up so that it kind of becomes the new template that other developers will copy. Is it likely? Probably not. But
like, so what do you think? There's a stupid online market where you can trade goods?
I think that's an appeal to like they seem to want to kind of. They're definitely tackling online more this generation, which I mean it's a natural evolution. And I think if you have the Zelda market and we've seen the past Zelda games have an increasing amount of crafting where you're collecting items in the world. You can see that they're pushing that more and more. We saw it in it was there in Wind Waker. I don't think it was so prevalent in Twilight Princess. There was bug collecting, but I don't think you were collecting like scraps and stuff. It was there in Skyward Sword.
Souls.
Yeah. And then it was there in Skyward Sword again. So I think it would, if they are going the open world route, which it really seems they are, you're probably going to be scavenging a lot of stuff and building stuff with it. And I just feel that makes it that much better with a market. Because it does all, like that market idea that I shot many Class vs. Crasses ago, gives the option to the player that, hey, I don't like running around the world picking up, dead or whatever, skinning goblins or whatever. You can just what?
You were gonna say moblins, and then you said goblins, and you kind of said skinning moms.
Moblins is what I meant. I was trying to think of a funny creature, and my mind wasn't fast enough for it. I was like, well, it'd be funny to skin. But anyways, yeah. So you could just go to the market and pick up, just pay. Like you just pay another player who did all the work for you, and then that would give some different types of roles. Like some people will maybe play the game more to be that kind of like craftsman who goes around the world hunting thing, and like that can be his role. And maybe someone else wants, if they're depending how they format it, if it's a little bit like an online RPG, it could be you could have different roles. You could be more of a quest goer. You could be more of a craftsman. You could. It opens up a little bit more options, I think.
Eh, I
Yeah.
think they should go with my idea. I think my idea is better.
What's your idea again?
Just make it an open world thing where you create your own story. And you
Well, I
can
think you
go
could have
at your own
both.
pace.
I would definitely love to have like a hub that I can build.
Like a home.
Yeah, I not like a home. Like I shouldn't have shoved a donut in my mouth before talking, but
No, no, it's okay.
it's really good. Like
Go
say
on.
you have Kakariko Village and it's been destroyed or whatever, and you can do quests and rebuild it a little bit how you want, almost like Dark Cloud, but not that not that far. Um, I think that'd be cool. You're like, okay, I'm gonna go on this mission because I got to rebuild the tavern in Kakariko Village, or I got to go rescue the this person, and bringing that person back to the village is going to allow me to have the archery range, and with the archery range, I can play this mini game and get a bigger quiver. So I think those sorts of game elements would be interesting and pretty fun to play.
Yeah, maybe.
Some nerd with a bad username joining us. What's the topic? He says.
Zelda changing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
changing.
today's a weird schedule for anyone who's just joining us. First of all, we started half hour late. Then daylight savings time screwed us up. So uh, we're just kind of going over the news, going over some topics. I'm going over some donuts. If you guys want me to describe these donuts, here in Canada, you get the. What do you call these? You have Tim Hortons in your part of the world, Sean?
Not in North Carolina, but I think they're in the United States.
So we call these Timbits. What do you call donuts of this size?
I
Like
call them a donut. Like I don't
there's
discriminate.
there's no name for it. Some places call it a donut hole.
Munch. Well, yeah. There's like well, if you go to Dunkin' Donuts, it's like a munchkin.
Hmm. Yeah, so they call at Tim Hortons they call them the Timbit, and they're delicious. I just had the birthday cake. That's the last thing that went in my mouth,
Mm,
and I've only got one last, the glazed classic.
you like the glazed?
Glazed everything is in the donut world is good. All right, next topic. So honestly, Nintendo news has been really weak in the past week, but I had a very interesting topic I want to bring up with Sean. For those who don't know, Sean's a big collector in the retro scene. Is that right?
I am.
You ever gonna shut off that damn alarm?
It goes off like every 12 hours, but the longer I wait, um, it won't go off in the morning. I don't know how to fucking fix it. Like I've changed the battery and it doesn't do anything, and I don't understand. It said it chirps because it needs a new battery. You put a new battery in it, you turn it off, you turn it on, it still chirps.
Get rid of it. It's busted. You'd probably die in a fire. You
Care.
said 12 hours. That thing just beeped again.
Well, I know because no, now it's been 12 hours since I turned it off.
Hmm.
Do
Anyways,
you want me to get up and turn it off?
if people in the chat say yes, then you need to turn
I'll,
it
I'll
off.
just, I'll just, I'll just.
All right, go. So guys, tonight we're gonna get on Sean's personal side. We're gonna explore his love for retro gaming and the retro community because I'm kind of curious about this. All right.
There, I'm back.
Okay. So the question I want to ask you tonight, and anyone in the chat, feel free to jump on this topic. Sean, you're a collector. We never talk about your opinions that much on the retro scene here on Class vs. Crass. So I've started dabbling more and more into retro collecting. For anyone else who would be interested in getting into it, is it a good time? Is it saturated? Like, it's pretty hard to find retro stuff at a good price nowadays. You're going to be paying premiums. Um, what's your thoughts on the retro scene?
Depends what you're collecting.
What's the difference between the generations or the?
Yeah, I mean, if you're getting into anything between NES to N64, It's going to be harder to get good prices. If you are looking at GameCube is astronomical. If you are looking,
what? Really?
GameCube is one of the most expensive systems. Even commons are super expensive. If you're looking at, things like PS2, Xbox, it's much easier. Wii stuff is amazingly cheap right now. Mm-hmm. So if you're trying to get into that, and I mean, a lot of people say it's based because of age. As far as people, late 20s to early 40s, just wanting to relive their childhoods or whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think to some degree, yes, that's true. But I also think because there's a lot of young bucks getting in the community and whatnot. And it's not a bad thing. The only thing I don't mind the economy. Like, I actually like the economy. I think it's fun. It makes getting good deals more fun. But like shit like, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 games, there's too many very expensive games. And that's because of dumbasses. Shit is only worth money. Shit is only worth money if somebody pays it. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, let's take what I'm going through right now. The Atari Jaguar. I decided I wanted a Jaguar. They're like $200 on eBay with like a game. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, who wants a Jaguar in 2016? Mm-hmm. But some dumbass along the way paid $200 for it on eBay. So now everyone thinks they can get $200 for it on eBay. So, and of course, right now I'm trying to make the damn thing work, and it's been driving me crazy for 2 days, and I still have no solutions. And I keep winning. Here's another pain in the ass. I keep winning games on eBay. I'm giving these low ball ass offers, and people are like, okay, here you go. I'm like, fuck. I've won 2 games.
Why is that a bad thing?
Because I can't get the damn system to work.
Oh, Jaguar games you're getting. Okay.
Yes.
Why the Jag? What's so attractive to the Jag for you?
I've never played it. Oh. It's a system I've never played. And that's, if you watch my channel here, with a little tongue, like the Atari 7800, it was the same thing. I never played a 7800. Sega Master System, that's something I've been dabbling in a lot now. I've never played them. I played it, but I never spent time with it. But see, that's the thing. A game like Earthbound, Castlevania X, those are not rare games. Those are games that were released worldwide to the market that at the time were underappreciated. And then for some reason, the value keeps escalating on them. You cannot sit there and tell me that there are less copies of Earthbound than there are of, let's say, Star Wars Arcade on the 32X. You can't tell me that. But Star Wars Arcade on the 32X is an $8 game, whereas Earthbound is a $300 game. And it's like, the 32X was one of the most failed systems whatsoever. Even if you look at the Virtual Boy, you can get Virtual Boy games. There's only like one Virtual Boy game that's expensive, and that's Waterworld, which was released at the end of the console's life cycle when it was pretty much dead. I actually think it was the last North American game released. Okay, I can understand that being an expensive game. All the other Virtual Boy games are under $30, under $40. So how the fuck is Earthbound a $300 game? If I can go on eBay and see 40 copies of Earthbound, that's not rare. Because you got to figure, that's just people on eBay selling it. That's not including brick and mortar stores, because every freaking brick and mortar store has to have a little shitty copy of Earthbound. Earthbound is not worth the money. And I actually think Rerez just did a video on this, which kind of pissed me off because I was going to do a video on it. So now I have to change it up. But like, Earthbound is not worth the money. Stuff like Castlevania Dracula X, not worth the money. I love the game. I love the game to death. I think it's a phenomenal game, but it's not worth $180. Demon's Crest, $120. Why? I don't understand that. This was a Capcom released game. This was a Konami released game with Castlevania. This was a Nintendo released game with Earthbound. Like, it's crazy to me. I don't like super overpriced games. I would rather buy. I just bought, spoilers for an upcoming pickups video, I bought 26 Game Gear games for $15. I would rather buy 26 Game Gear games for $15 than buy Earthbound at $300 because guaranteed, I thumb through there. There's Shinobi, there's Ninja Gaiden, there's Jurassic Park, there's every Sonic that was released on the Game Gear. I'll be having more fun playing those Game Gear games on my little shitty Game Gear than I would playing Earthbound for $300. Like a lot of you really got me started here. A lot of retro collecting is kind of to show off your e-penis. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of collectors, and I mean that's fine. Like I'm friends with collectors that are in the YouTube scene that like their whole channel is just showing off collections, showing off shit they got, and that's fine. I don't mind that. But a lot of people are trying to emulate that, and that's shitty. You know what I'm saying? I would rather buy 30 random titles, enjoy 3 of them, and pay $20 than, whatever. So yeah, it's fun to collect retro, but it's a lot harder than it was even 3-4 years ago. But if you're diligent enough, you can still get good deals. And another thing, in the same breath of saying that a lot of these games are overpriced, there's a lot of games that are, let's say the $20 to $50 range where people are like, shut the fuck up, Dave. There's a lot of games in the $20 to $50 range where people are like, oh, I don't want to pay that. That's too much. And I'm sitting there like, I don't mind paying. I just bought Alien versus Predator on the Jaguar for my Jaguar that I can't get to work. I think I got it for $28, which it usually goes for anywhere from like 35 to 40. I don't mind paying that because it's a good game. Good games selling for $20 to $50 does not bother me because you're constantly buying these shitty, broken experience, new current generation games that are not as that, you're not going to play 2 months down the road. Whereas I can revisit this game whenever I want, pop it in, boom, it's good to go. If the game is good, I don't mind paying a decent amount of money for it.
But
everyone thinks NES games should be $1 and Genesis games should be $1. And it's like, really, like a game like Gunstar Heroes, like that's worth, $30 to $40 loose. That's an amazing game. A game like, even Super Mario 64, it's a little high, but $20 for Super Mario 64, that's not crazy to me. You know what I'm saying?
So taking Gunstar Heroes as an example, I know that's an expensive cart. How can you justify paying that much for a game when you can get it for cheaper on the 3DS or the eShop? Like there's the collector version, the collector side of it to understand, but if you're talking just to like enjoy the game, you can get old games so much more for much cheaper other ways.
Well, and in that breath, you can emulate the game for free. So why even buy a digital version if you can just emulate it for free?
Well, because when you're going through the eShop, you're actually still supporting the whole license, the whole IP, and you're kind of saying with your money that this is still good, and you're signaling to the developer and the publisher that, hey, this is a strong game, and there's still interest in it.
They know that, or else I wouldn't have released it to begin with.
Not if everybody's emulating.
So then why release digital games? You see what I'm saying? Like, the person who does retro collecting doesn't necessarily think of that. And I actually have digital versions of games I own physically, just for convenience sake. But I still want the physical version because if I ever sell my Wii U, if my Wii U breaks, if my 3DS breaks, what am I going to do? Whereas I have a cartridge in my hand, and anytime I want to play it, I just pop it in the system and I play it. You know what I'm saying? It's just different. It's different to have a physical good.
Aren't those? Isn't there an estimate as to when those carts are actually going to start disintegrating and not being able to play games?
Well, show me a cartridge that has affected that.
I'm not saying we're there yet, but they have a certain life cycle, and I'm wondering what it is.
They said that it was 25 to 30 years, but I got 2,600 games that were made in the 70s that, that's what, 50 years they still play?
Yeah.
I think it's, to some degree, yes, but the only thing you really have to worry about is battery backup saves. But I've actually never experienced a battery backup issue in anything. I can play my copy of Legend of Zelda from 1987, which is 28 years old, 29 years old, and it still plays. So, shut up, OJ. So yeah, I mean, they say that it's a problem, and even if your battery backup does go out, it's very simple. I mean, it's like a watch battery. It's very simple to swap them out.
Right. Yeah, it's just a list, little disc thing, whatever they're called. Cool.
I just always want physical. I don't understand why everyone wants digital. Digital to me is so stupid because A, you're not getting a better price when you buy it digitally. First and foremost, you're paying the same amount for a digital version of the game than a physical version. How does that benefit anyone? How is there a benefit? Especially when you have services like Amazon where you get 20% off all of your pre-order physical games. Best Buy has a program like that. GameStop, you get physical goods along with buying a physical game. Right. I don't understand this mentality of all digital. Like, I don't understand. It's convenient to an extent, but when you're downloading a 20 gig game, you're not going to sit there because you're going to download the 20 gig game. You're going to sit there and then you're going to have to do 3 patches. It's going to take 12 hours so you get into the actual game. So where is the benefit of digital besides you could sit your fat ass at home and not have to go out and buy the game, which is superseded by Amazon because Amazon delivers it to your house the day it comes out.
Yeah.
So where's the benefit? I don't understand. I don't understand why.
I actually saw an image today on Facebook regarding like the advantage of digital games and where they came from. And it's a picture of this person who's really large and they drop their game on the floor and they're just like trying to bend over and they can't because they're so big. And it just like it's a meme. It's like this is why digital games exist or something. Or it was like the birth of Steam.
Like Steam is a different beast to me because Steam
you actually
allows.
Get discounts.
Yes, you got discounts. You've got tons of discounts, and you have most of those. I shouldn't say most. A good percentage of those games you can only get on Steam or through digital services. That's a totally different beast. My whole thing is, if physical is fading out, why are so many indie companies hell bent on making physical copies of their game?
Because
why
it's prestigious.
Is it? Why is there a physical? Is it really though? Because think of the money you have to put into it. Think Shovel Knight, physical. Terraria, physical. Minecraft, physical.
Okay.
The list goes on. Plus, digital games account for a meager percentage of total sales.
Mm-hmm.
The highest selling digital game ever that was released physically was Smash Brothers on the 3DS, a portable system, which should be one of the highest ways to get a digital game because you don't have to carry around a cartridge. That was, I think, 18% of total sales. The average game made by EA and Activision gets about 8% of total digital total digital sales. The rest, 92%, are physical. And companies want to phase this out.
What company wants to phase it out?
Every company wants digital games because they want to cut corners. They don't want to create discs and cases and instruction. Look at the instruction manuals. You used to get a freaking Bible as an instruction manual. Now you get a piece of paper. Look at the online manual. Like, get out of here, dude.
Even the online manuals are pretty skimpy now on some big games. It's like, you want to learn how to play the game? Go on the internet.
Like, I don't get the mentality. Like, I get the mentality because they're trying to
multitasking. Are we?
I'm talking on the chat. Mm-hmm. They're trying to cut costs and shit, but are you really? You're not cutting costs if you're charging the same amount for a digital release as a physical release. If somebody buys a digital release at the same price as the physical release, I do not agree with them.
I think there's a bit of, I don't know. I think there could be some fear in, like, if they really were hell bent on going digital, they could do it. They could do digital sales. They could just slash the price off the bat. But I don't think they want a mass exodus from physical to digital because that would it would hurt a lot. I don't know how bad it would damage relationships with their manufacturers and distributors for all the physical stuff. I don't know. I didn't realize the percentage was that low. If you're right on that, that's about
I
8%.
am.
Okay. Um,
That was a there was a back. I want to say around the winter time. I covered that story. There was a whole big thing on it
hmm.
where it
But
was like a big deal that Smash Brothers sold 15 to 20% digital, and that was the highest. That was the most successful thing so far. And EA and Activision went on record as saying that that was an anomaly. The average is 8%.
okay. Well, speaking
And
of
I mean,
physical release, yes,
okay, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Amiibo. I'm about to segue, so if
Oh, okay.
you want to say something before we leave this shit.
No, I'm good.
All right. Speaking of physical, Amiibo, we had a very interesting article come out on NintendoEnthusiast.com over the week, written by the troublesome Eli Pales. Amiibo were never special, he claims, saying that when Amiibo launched, this is an interesting topic, which is why I'm bringing it up, and there was actually a lot of discussion on the Nintendo Enthusiast article. So Eli claims the Amiibo promised to be different than Disney Infinity than Skylanders. It promised to be more than just a device that unlocked more into your game, and off the bat, we got something pretty cool with the Smash Brother lineup, where you could actually level up the Amiibo, and well, you guys all know what you can do with it. Here we are, what now, 2 years? Is it 2 years or a year and a half since Amiibo came out? A year and a
2 years.
half. A year and a half, about. Um, and they're not that special. In fact, I would argue that maybe they're even worse than Disney Infinity or Skylander when it comes to what they do in the game. They're very cool collectibles. I love, I don't know, putting them up and looking at them. Um, but are they living up to the potential that we were promised? And in that article, Eli claims that no, they're pretty much just collectibles and they don't serve much purpose that couldn't have been done better in other ways. Like a lot of the times, you just get a new superpower or you get a bonus, like in Hyrule Warriors. Captain Toad, you get an extra little mini game. And with we got a huge lineup in Animal Crossing to go around Amiibo Festival, which I'm not. Do you know what it did in Amiibo Festival? I think you could level them up
No,
or something. But that
who
game
cares?
itself was weak, and it has a huge Amiibo lineup, and they're still pumping them out with the new Kirby lineup, which is coming out with the mech, which again just gives you powers. So my question to you is, I everyone knows you hate Amiibo, but do you feel that uh, Amiibo have gotten worse? They were that you were promised more potential out of it? Do you feel it's heading in a bad direction, a good direction? Like looking at the lifespan of the Amiibo, what do you feel?
Um, they, technically they really promised much. Like, what did they promise? What did they say the amiibo was going to do besides different things that it doesn't do?
I'm sorry, I'm writing.
The answer would be nothing. They never flat out said this is what amiibo will be able to do. This is how it's different. They just said
Well,
it was different.
they
So
promised interconnectivity between all of Nintendo games, and that the Amiibo would kind of be like a key. That key, but we're not even seeing that. Like a lot of the times, you got your Amiibo, and it's like you have to erase the data if you want to use it in this other game, and you're like, well, screw that. I don't want to lose all. Like, you have to pretty much pick and choose which Amiibo works with which game, which that is absolutely frustrating to me.
yeah, I don't know. I never saw the appeal of amiibo outside of collectability because I knew, although I wanted them to do more, it would never do more. Because the problem is, here's one of the main problems: is consumers. What do I mean by that? Too many people bought the damn things, knowing that they weren't going to do anything majestic, and so then they're like, oh, okay, well, we don't even have to do anything to sell these things. Like, just release them and people buy them. And it's still like that. So, they're not really in a position where they feel the need to have to adapt and do things. Like President Kimishima did say that, he's not happy or, they want
Satisfied.
to do satisfied. They want to do, get more with the amiibo. But whether that happens or not remains to be seen. I don't know. If you want to collect amiibo, collect amiibo. That's great. But to me, I just don't care. I honestly I don't care because I never saw the appeal outside of I knew it wasn't going to be anything super crazy, and it wasn't anything super crazy.
It's unfortunate, you know, or maybe we just
Well,
hold Nintendo in
well,
too high of a light that we always want
but
to be surprised.
it's a double-edged sword because if you have like, give me an example of what you want Amiibo to do.
Well, if I had the answer, I'd be pitching to Nintendo, not to you.
Exactly. Nobody knows what they want Amiibo to actually do because when it does nothing, everyone bitches. It doesn't do anything. This is stupid. When it has content that you can only get with the Amiibo, this is DLC. This is paywall. This is bullshit. When it does something in the middle, oh, this isn't enough. I wanted to do more. It's like you can't satisfy anyone. No one is ever satisfied with the amount of Amiibo use in a game. It's either too much, too little, or doesn't do enough. Mm-hmm. So what do you do?
Well, you have to be creative. I mean, I'd have to spend a lot more time thinking than on a few minutes on a podcast here. But more interactivity, like.
Go on.
I don't know. I guess you would have to release some kind of standalone app that lives on your Wii U or 3DS or like Miiverse community or something where you have maybe a little hub world and the Amiibo helps you interconnect all the games. So in your hub world, if you have a Mario series Amiibo, you can unlock maybe a Mario room in your hub world. And as you play Mario games and you use the Amiibo in those games, it gives you points or gives you items to put into your Mario room or to put in your hub world. It's what are you doing over there?
I fell asleep because that sounded terrible.
I was exploring an idea. I'm not saying it was good, but there's stuff that you can do.
Of course, there's stuff you can do, but you're gonna piss off everyone.
I don't know. People in the chat probably have a better idea.
If you change too much, they don't like it. If you don't do enough change, they don't like it. It's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to balance. You try to give more to Metroid, you get hurt. You try to do more of the same with Samus, people get bored.
Cloud Amiibo.
That's a real. Wait, we didn't even cover this. So we got some new. What are you talking about?
Hold on. Someone has a decent idea. Cloud Amiibo launches alongside Cloud Smash DLC. Cloud Amiibo unlocks a DLC if you scan it in as opposed to paying for it. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. You're already buying some plastic. Let the plastic be worth stuff. That you know. Let it be the cart of DLC.
I mean, that would also severely delay DLC, I think.
It would, but make it an option. Like a lot of people who bought the Cloud DLC are gonna buy the Amiibo anyway.
No, of course.
Whatever.
Or you could do it where they just, if you want the Cloud DLC, you can down the road buy the Amiibo. You know what I'm saying? Like,
or get a discount somehow.
2 months later, and then get a discount. Yeah, there's ideas. That's not a bad idea.
There are ideas, and maybe we should have a dedicated podcast to Amiibo ideas. How to save the Amiibo.
God, you'd have to get a special guest because I would just.
Yeah. Yeah. Something I totally forgot to bring up. Over the last week, we did get something cool. We got some new footage of Metroid Federation Force, some gameplay footage, which was a battleship scene where the space pirate is attacking some battleship, and you're seeing your team push these balls into catapults, and that's how you fight. You saw the gameplay, right?
Are you talking about that other channel that somehow gets all these amazing exclusives?
Yep.
Makes you wonder.
It does. But that gameplay definitely
got a million dislikes.
Yeah. What do you think of that gameplay? What you saw?
I thought it was fine.
You thought that was fine? I thought that looked tedious as hell and boring.
It's a section of the game.
Okay. I'm not saying the game. I'm not saying the game is bad. I'm saying what I saw.
Everyone's a fucking critic, and everyone wants to.
Yeah, well, we are critics.
Jump the gun and.
Look, I'm not judging the game. I'm not.
I like it. No one else should like it.
Okay, let's think of it this way. Nintendo is very much aware of the backlash on Metroid Federation Force, so much that they deactivated the like-dislike bar on their video. They know that people hate it, so they put so if they were smart, which I assume they are, they would put something out to ease the fears that Federation Force is bad. So what they did in the Nintendo Direct is they gave it a good window of time to explain what they were doing with it, And I think that helped, as can
No,
be
it
seen by
didn't.
you. Well, reasonable people can be reasonable, and I think some people saw some light and said, okay, this could be good. Other people are like, chibi, not for me, whatever. You got the haters, you got those who actually saw some promise. Fine. Now we get this more gameplay that has been given to some people, apparently. And why choose this? And I'm not saying that the whole game is this or it's bad. I'm saying what we saw, that stuff was, it looked tedious and boring. Like, oh, let's destroy this boss by just doing more, what was it, blast ball into a catapult. And it just like, you see these guys like struggling to push the ball like over the ship, and like you're almost at the
And they
catapult
just
and then you
stop.
hit the wrong angle and then it goes off the platform. Like, it looks tedious, it doesn't look fun.
But did you play it?
I didn't play. I said it doesn't look fun.
It's one segment of the game. I'm not going to judge a game. There's a tedious
I'm not
segments in a
asking you
lot of
I'm not
games.
asking you to judge the game. I'm asking you to judge the gameplay footage that we saw.
That's just what they recorded at their special thing because somehow they're the only people in the world who get to go get this stuff. But that's not suspicious at all. No, no, not at all.
Well, they're a bigger
Um,
channel.
um, yeah, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal to me.
All right. I was curious if you had an opinion. Obviously, it's more defense.
It's
You're
not. It's not defense. It's here's the thing. Here's the thing. Remember what Amiibo Festival was announced?
hmm
And remember how it got terrible? They did terrible on social media. What happened? Did Nintendo say, "Oh, they don't like the Amiibo Festival"? Well, let's just cancel it. Let's change things up. No, they released the shit. So more than likely, they're just gonna release the shit. And if you like it, great. And if you don't, oh well. If it's a good game, it's a good game. If it's a bad game, it's a bad game. I don't give a shit. If they release a bad game, it's a bad game. I'm playing a bad game right now that Nintendo is releasing. I don't care. It's not a big deal. This could have been cool. It's not. Okay? Like,
Okay.
I just don't understand why people get so worked up over it. Like, it's just weird.
It's gaming. It's a passion. It's fun to get worked up over it.
I guess.
You get worked up over stuff all the time. You have a show called Nintendo Rants where you get worked up about all sorts of things.
Yeah. But it's usually not. It's not like they should cancel this game. This game is sacrilege, unless it's Conquer. That Conquer game, ugh,
That's terrible.
that's bad. Imagine if they did that. That's what Nintendo should do with Metroid.
Ugh.
They should have Samus in some shitty HoloLens sort of VR. They should and try out Samus like this and just be like, "Screw all of you. We're gonna do what
And
we
like
want."
completely disfigure her and just completely
Disfigure,
change
make it look like a meth addict.
like a short and whatever.
Yeah, that's what they should do. Just to piss people off.
Here, you wanted Samus. Here you go in VR.
There you go.
She's all warped and cartoony. All right. All right, that's all the headlines for the week and our opinions on it. I've got a really cool Nintendo showcase for the week. This is where we go and showcase a Nintendo fan in the community, and we're showcasing one of our own today, Unforgiven, who's actually in the chat right now, has a very impressive Wii U library, Wii U collection, and I'm gonna show it off. He sent me a picture. Let me double
Oh, that's
check,
cool.
make sure there's no dick pics in here. Okay, we're good. And here we go.
Oh, you disappointed, Jason.
I'm not. I see that smile on your face, though. I said the word dick pic and it got you excited. All right. I'm being lazy and I'm just overlaying it on top of our faces.
That's fine.
But what region is Unforgiven in? Because obviously he's got the Fatal Frame physical copy, so I'm thinking he's
It's probably
in
in
Europe.
Europe.
So yeah, he's showing off here. He's got some all three Yoshi amiibo. He's got the Wii U, the Zelda, Wind Waker's Wii U, all the
I
special
mean, he may have
editions.
just imported it.
He could have, yeah. All the special editions, the Smash Brothers with the controller, Bayonetta 2 collector editions, uh, why am I saying Zeo Drift? It's not Zeo Drifter. Why do I have the word Zeo Drifter?
Xenoblade.
Yeah, what's Zeo Drifter from? Oh,
That's
that's
it.
freaking that's Renegade
Yeah.
Kid. Yeah, and then he's showing off his whole Wii U library, which is pretty impressive. I think he's like 20 or something away from a complete collection.
Got to get that Funky Barn. Funky Barn's a tough one.
Wii
That
U
and
Funky Bone?
Guyana Sisters. Yes.
Is it Guyana or Gianna?
I say Guyana.
One
If
thing
they want to correct
I
me, they can
like
call
for anyone who's collecting Wii U games, I really like how Nintendo has a lot of like box sets this generation with like the Amiibo.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
There was a box version of Bayonetta 1.
It's probably some sort of import.
Has the ESRB on it though. I don't know if he I don't know where you got that. So that's Unforgiven's Wii U collection. Very impressive, man. Thanks for sharing with us. And you can hit him up in the chat if you want to say good job on spending all your money on all that Wii U stuff. All right, and now we go to the lightning round. Sean, you like to do this part. I let you host. Go.
All
Let Sean
right.
host
Oh,
after the
he
news
printed
flash.
it. He printed it. That's pretty cool.
I
I
thought
like when people
so.
do stuff like that.
Yeah. Did you
Yeah.
put a disc? I guess not. Just there wouldn't be a disc to put in there. Wait, yeah,
All
there
right.
would. Yeah, there is. It came with 2 discs. What am I talking about?
Yeah. Stupid. Ask questions.
He was actually missing 8 games, I believe.
It's not bad. No problem.
Why are you not talking?
Because I'm talking about my Atari Jaguar, which isn't working with the guy I bought it from.
All right.
But
So,
I'm paying attention.
okay. So in this lightning round, you can toss up your topics, questions. What do you want Sean or myself to talk about? What do you want the room to talk about?
Here's what I'm going to talk about real quick while we're waiting.
What do you want to talk
I
about?
think that the Atari Jaguar controller, people give this shit. I think it's the most comfortable controller I've ever held. It's literally, look at how it forms to my hand. It's like it was made for my hand. Yes, this part is kind of silly, but I understand why they did that. But
why?
Because they wanted to have overlays like the ColecoVision. And some games actually did have overlays. But yeah, like it feels so good. It feels I've never held a controller that's so comfortable. I wish I could play the damn thing.
Play it in your sleep.
Right. What do you think of people flipping shit over No Man's Sky being $60? I don't care. I mean, it's a good looking game. It's an ambitious game. It's been a highly promoted game, so I don't see a problem with it. If it's who cares? If the content is worth $60, then it's worth $60. And from what I've seen and heard about this game, it's worth $60.
Right. I hate the whole indie game categorizes things. It's an indie game, it must suck. It's an indie game, it must be artsy. It's an indie game, it must be made by hipsters. Like, get out of here. A game is a game is a game. Is a game. Continue.
Yeah, so
do you think NX will fail no matter what Nintendo does because people don't care about Nintendo anymore and they just buy PS4 just for the brand? That's a valid question and a valid concern, and we will find out in a year.
Yeah.
Do we think it'll fail no matter? I think it's going to be an uphill struggle no matter what.
It just depends. It depends what it is and all that stuff.
I'm saying even if it's amazing, it's still an uphill battle.
Favorite non-Nintendo developed Wii U game. Deus Ex.
What is it? Favorite non-Nintendo developed Wii U game?
Yeah, it can be published by Nintendo. Deus Ex. Deus Ex is amazing. And everyone in this chat room go buy Deus Ex right now. It's like 15, $20 on Amazon.
For me, it was Assassin's Creed's Black Flag. Fantastic.
Slow down on that.
Love it so much. It's like Wind Waker, but realistic and Assassins.
And there is a lot of content. Do you think we'll see NX before E3?
I'm running out of winter here.
I don't know. I mean, E3 is what, 3 months away? Less than 3 months away?
June 3, yeah.
Is it worth it now? Do they need to?
To build up the hype? They could use it.
Alex from Nintendo Life.
I don't. Is he a good guy?
I don't know. Let's see. Alex Olani.
I definitely think the NX will be retro compatible with the Wii U. I think there's a massive audience of gamers out there who have not dabbled in the Wii U collection, and it is a very good collection, as we have just as Unforgiven can probably attest to, and anyone in the room really. So to make the whole Wii U library available at launch of the NX, I think would just add that much more incentive for anybody to buy the NX. It'd just be like, well, I missed out on the Wii U, might as well play them here.
Were those NX rumors by that Gino guy fake? Yes, they were. Fuck Gino.
Poor Gino.
Any ongoing Nintendo series that should take a break for a few years? God, the Olympics games, go away.
Yes. No more Olympic. Are they saying just Nintendo? Is the question just Nintendo series?
Yeah, but that's a Nintendo. I mean, it's not on any other platform.
Oh, you don't want Pikmin around, even though there's a Pikmin 4 around the corner.
No, that doesn't need a break for a few years though. They're not heavily released. I mean, you had Pikmin 1 and 2 on the GameCube and Pikmin 3 on the Wii U. You had Pikmin new playstyle control on the Wii, which made sense. I'm not a Pikmin fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't think that's a big deal. Do you think a Harvest Moon game on the NX will be popular? Assuming you mean the Story of Seasons, because that's the original Harvest Moon. Maybe. Harvest Moon games are kind of a niche audience anyway, so I don't necessarily think that's a banger for them, but it's not terrible. Do you buy the Beyond Good and Evil 2 rumors? To an extent, yes, just because of how Destructoid was instructed by Ubisoft to remove them. With rumors in the video game industry, you could pretty much say anything you want. You could say, I heard Zelda is going to have a penis and Link is going to... What?
Nothing.
But yeah, I mean, you could pretty much say anything and it doesn't matter. Like, I've never covered a rumor and had anyone tell me to take it down unless it was true or unless it was something that was leaked and they didn't want it leaked. For instance, I covered something from a game that's now out before it was supposed to be covered just because it was on the internet, and the company actually reached out and was like, hey, could you take it down? We're announcing that in a week. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. So I've never had a company tell me to take something down and not giving me a reason to take it down, which is what happened with this situation. It's very interesting to me.
How does Nintendo get third-party developers for the NX? The Amiibo.
Money!
And the Amiibo is a very tantalizing device to sell things. Works for Nintendo, it can work for anyone. Mega Man, Capcom's starting to take advantage of it with the Mega Man Amiibo. And Sean has a brilliant idea about whoring out Amiibos to every franchise for third party. Getting Batman Arkham Knight Amiibo. Be pretty cool.
Yeah, agreed. Sorry, I'm having a conversation. That's gonna be...
It's all right. We are a little bit over time, and we don't have a guest to use that as an excuse this time, so I think we're going to be cutting it. Wrapping up our Class vs. Crass Nintendo podcast. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I know it's been a weird night. We started late. Daylight savings time messed us up. YouTube didn't send it out to you guys until 20, 30 minutes into the show. It was a really weird night, but thanks again for joining us. Thanks for to Unforgiven for sharing his collection. If you have a nice collection that you want to show off on Class vs. Crass, do send it to either Sean or myself on Twitter. We've got all of our info down here under the video box. Yeah, that's a good place to send it. If you're not on Twitter, you can send it to Sean's email at sirnintendo with a 0. No, just Sir Nintendo. Sir Nintendo at ymail.com, because the guy has never learned to use gmail.com, surprisingly.
Hey, right. Man, you know what? I've never had a company say, why are you on Ymail?
I am a company that is asking you why you are on Ymail.
Look, if Nintendo and
use your damn NintendoEnthusiast.com account to contact people. No. Stop working through Ymail. You make us look like weird.
You know what? The only shit they care about is when they see my signature and they see our Metacritic link and they click that and it works, baby. That's all they care about. They're like, ooh, Metacritic. Here's the games.
They're gonna stop caring when you give them low scores. All right.
I haven't heard from Square Enix lately. No, they don't care.
All right. So, Sean, where can we expect from you this week, and where can we find more of you? Because
I don't. Well, Mario and Sonic at the Rio Olympics for 3DS review will be up Thursday, I suppose. I'm gonna keep trying to find the nugget of goodness. Anyways, yeah, I do get that Gmail shit a lot. It's actually Ymail. It's a subsidiary of Yahoo. I've had it forever. Like I've had this email for like probably 10 years, so I just continue to use it. I don't really know. I don't really have anything super planned out today. I had a real just catch up on sleep sort of day. I'll probably come up with something in the middle of the night and decide to write about it. I might make a video this week for the channel.
Is it Mario Jobs?
Shut the fuck up. Just something kind of fun and kind of simple. And then don't really have any plans for Retro Gaming Tube 85. I did design a shirt that looks kind of snazzy. But yeah, that honestly, the Retro Gaming 285 is like the most spur of the moment channel. I would love to get GameStar as a guest. I'll actually hit him up about that once, sometime. You should get Alpha because I could use Alpha's sub. He hasn't subbed me yet.
Well, get his sub and then I'll ask him. Maybe he just doesn't like you and he doesn't want to come on this podcast.
No, actually, I got a funny story about Alpha. How to get him to like you.
Alpha or story time?
No, we won't talk about it.
Next time on Class vs. Crass, learn about the mysterious story of Alpha and how to get him to like you.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I don't know. Most of my content, if it's not a review, is spur of the moment. It's just something that clicks. I write it, I video it, and it works. So that's how I've always been. That's how I always will be.
Awesome.
Because that seems to work for me.
Keep on videoing things. All right. On the Nintendo Enthusiast YouTube channel, you're going to see a lot of videos, reviews dropping this week. We've got a video review for Poken Tournament dropping this week. We've got Fire Emblem Fates, which we are extremely late on. The written reviews over on NintendoEnthusiast.com has been there for 2 weeks, but some people have been asking for a video review, so those are coming, and that is specifically because you guys asked us to do it. We're doing it for you guys. We've also got, I think, a video review coming for Mutant Mud's Super Challenge.
Yes. The written review is done. I just proofed that tonight.
So I believe
he's recording narration for it tonight.
Great. So that's another. So we're gonna have 3 video reviews for you guys this week. If you guys like that, I hope you like that. I hope you guys like our video reviews.
They usually do pretty decent.
I don't think
I'm gonna do a video then this week. If we got 3 video reviews.
Yeah, I want to make them more interesting. I find you can go to IGN and GameSpot to get the same style of. I think we could be more original with it. And I'm working on a mega video, which will probably be coming out in May. But we're in the scripting phase. It's exciting. It's a massive project. And
he didn't want me to do anything.
I didn't want Sean in it because he would just bring the viewership down. But I'm excited to show you guys. So keep an eye on that. We'll see you guys throughout the week. Next week on Nintendo and 90. And next week on Class vs. Crass. Until then, keep it classy, or as my co-host Sean would say.
Keep it crassy.
Keep on gaming. Have a good week. See ya.